Good evening. Welcome to Chapter 2 of The Secret of Luck, which is The Secret of Magnetism now is what we're going to be talking about. So we live immersed in an ocean of waves and radiation. And among these sources of radiation, magnetism is a ray of the same type as those we know by the names of heat, light, electricity, etc. Magnetism is a physical agent which exists naturally in all domains, mineral, plant, and animal. Human magnetism has not yet been completely explored and understood. However, certain laws such as polarity or magnetization are already well known. A similar polarity can be observed in the human body. The anterior and right-hand sides are positive, whereas the posterior and left-hand sides are negative. So magnetism is an energy which is coded and accumulated by your body. So not only does it envelop us and radiate from our body, it also brings our body alive, making sure that our organs function correctly and running through our nerves, making our muscles move. So our magnetic potential varies according to our physical and moral condition. Conversely, our physical balance and the development of our spiritual and intellectual faculties are dependent on the intensity and quality of our magnetism. So, if we take a look at the origin of the knowledge of magnetism, lucky people have something in common, okay? And it appears that man has known of the existence of magnetism since ancient times. This is particularly true of the Egyptians. If our interpretation of bas reliefs is accurate, it appears that they used it in its balancing curative form. So magnetism was studied in French under the term vital force by Hermetists in the 16th century and owes its name to Mesmer in 1979, who brought it back into fashion. He christened it vital magnetism to underline its similarity with the magnetism of a magnet, which is polarity. So since then, many scientists have continued and intensified Mesmer's experiments. Photographs have been taken of magnetic rays escaping from people's fingertips. You can also find that information by Leys and David at the Biology Society to the French Academy of Science in 1897. This is just how far back this goes. Plants which were unhealthy and dying were magnetized and regained strength and vigor in La Fontaine's experiments in 1841. Under experimental conditions, human fluid halted the rotting of organic tissues, plants and flowers. Many types of apparatus have been designed to detect and measure human magnetism. Baradec's biometer, Fontaine's galvanometer, Tromelin's fluid engine, Dr. Huar's stenometer, Crookes' apparatus, and particularly Fayol's machine, and more recently Dr. Abraham's and Muller's apparatus and Dr. LaPrince's radiobiometer. So all these machines were designed to eliminate the possibility that heat, electricity, or muscular action affected them. The magnetizer did not touch them. The results prove that some sort of human fluid really is produced. So where does this research lead? To this point, research has only shown us what luck is not, but it has allowed us to eliminate several false ideas. We have learned only one positive thing. Luck is a form of action, an enterprising spirit, but that's not enough. All those fortunate lucky people, people who succeed, people who manage to get what they want and achieve their ambitions, they all have something in common which has nothing to do with the start they had in life. It has nothing to do with their qualifications, nothing to do with their appearance or character. So what's their secret? At this point, we should know a very important detail which will give us the key to what is still a mystery for many of us. Let's take a look at a common child's game, and it's children playing follow the leader. So if we watch a group of children playing, one of them will be directing his playmates. He's the one who decides which game to play. He's the one who chooses sides, lets Peter play and leaves Paul out. It's he who leads, directs, and gives orders, while all his friends, who may even be older than him, obey him quite naturally as if they were under his spell. Various other children may come to swell the ranks of the group as if they were drawn by the leader. He is already in charge. The other are just soldiers who obey orders. And yet, this leader is not the strongest physically or even the most intelligent. He's not the best pupil or the worst. He's not a rascal, nor is he a little angel. It's as if it were written somewhere that certain people give orders and others obey him. What is it that makes people's attitude vary so much? Right from an early age? Why should a particular child, even if he is only 8 or 10 years old, who started on the same level, and sometimes even with a handicap, already dominate his playmates? Is it because of Lady Luck? A terrible and mysterious goddess? His appearance, or his physical strength? His character? His willingness? What is the secret of the attraction? We've already decided that none of these characteristics are deciding factors. What mysterious property allows a child to exert unquestioned influence over everyone around him, to have such an advantage over his playmates, to tame the rowdy ones, to encourage the shy ones, and to attract the more intelligent ones? It's called influence and magnetism. Okay? The ability to influence people is not mysterious at all, and each one of us possesses it just as we possess the ability to think. Magnetism is essential to our psychic life as well. So each one of us, by our attitudes, our speech, and our deeds, exerts an influence which can be deliberate or not, which can be strong or weak over others. Depending on its strength, this influence allows us to attract friendships to a varying degree, to draw others to participate in our plans or undertakings, and to make sure that people listen to us or obey us. This degree of influence is linked to the intensity of our psychic life and is completely independent of our physical, moral, and intellectual qualities. This magnetism, which is necessary to the functioning of our physical and biological organs, is also essential to our psychic life. It is this nervous or magnetic force, and you will see later on why the term magnetic is used, that conditions our thought, supplying tension and maintaining its continuity. Then we're going to take a look at the luck equation. Our success or failure is in direct proportion to the intensity of our psychic lives, which allows each one of us to have favorable or unfavorable influence over other people. Therefore, whether people succeed or fail is in fact a question of personality, qualities and faults, multiplied by the strength of their magnetic potential. This explains why a person with many qualities but with a poor magnetic potential will not succeed or will not be lucky, as we often say. Whereas a person with only average qualities will meet with great success thanks to his strong magnetic potential. This helps us understand some rather surprising success stories, why one store owner prospers while the other seems to be a born loser, even though they're selling the same products. Why certain factors whose talent is by no means greater than their fellow actors are successful. The success of certain politicians, whose programs are certainly no different from their opponents. It helps if you understand the old theatrical expression used to describe actors, coming across the floodlights, or nowadays the expression coming across the screen. It also explains J.F. Kennedy's unexpected success in his regular television appearances. These appearances certainly gave him far more personal influence than radio broadcasts. All these successes are due to a strong magnetic potential, which allows people to impose their personality with all of their qualities and faults. The aim of my study is to help you understand your own abilities to influence others, to develop them, and then use them effectively. Magnetic potential's harmony and tension, okay? Good character and intelligence do not always determine success. There is one very important point I would like to clarify before beginning. A pleasant physical appearance, good moral character, and high intelligence determine magnetic equality, harmony, and diffusion. This is why many war chiefs whose moral and intellectual qualities were somewhat lacking, and numerous cruel and brutal bandits managed to triumph over enemies who were trying to defend higher moral ideas. More than one statesman owes his success to his magnetic potential alone. It allowed him to captivate his party, then increasing crowds of his countrymen before finally mesmerizing an entire population. Therefore, we will begin with the more following statement. Luck as such does not exist. It is nothing more than the relative ability to influence other people and lead them to approve us, to help us, and to serve us. This ability to influence others varies according to our magnetic potential strength and tension, which supplies our thoughts with their power. And herein concludes the second chapter of The Secret of Magnetism. I hope you've enjoyed this segment, and I hope you come back to join us. Thanks very much. I'm Ileana Val. I can be found at www.oranpsychic.com. Love, light, and blessings. Ileana Val.